Department of Justice is moving forward with banning bump stocks.
Many lawmakers are unclear even what they are or how to legislate them.
The Department of Justice now says bump stocks fall within the definition of machine gun under federal law.
I received my first rifle at 11 years old from my father. It was handed down, it was his rifle when he was growing up. And like many youth, I was somewhat enamored. And when I became old enough, I started collecting more. Then finding that I also had an affinity to firearms and to the law as I went through college, I ended up as a gun lobbyist. If I'm not in a suit and tie up at the legislature, I'm in, tactical BDUs or something like that out on the range. My name is Clark Aposhian, and I want to stop the ATF from overruling Congress. That's why I'm suing them. When I heard the president say that there was going to be the bump stock final rule, that it was going to be illegal for me to possess one of those, I became quite worried.
The New Civil Liberties Alliance represents Clark Aposhian in a lawsuit against the ATF. This case is not about bump stocks. This case isn't about whether bump stocks should or shouldn't be regulated. This case is about who gets to write the law. And here, Congress has said that certain weapons are regulated and certain weapons are not.
We are law-abiding men and women who live in the United States and abide by our firearm laws. What's happening now is, midway through the process, now we're being told that what was perfectly legal to purchase and possess is now being made illegal.
This case is a perfect example, unfortunately, of what we call the administrative state. And what I mean by that is, this is a situation where we have an administrative agency, rather than Congress trying to rewrite the law.
That's very different.
Very different. It's night and day.
After the final rule was issued, or the notice was issued that it would go into effect on March 26th, Clark spoke out about the fact that he owned one of these devices, and under the final rule, he was looking at a possible felony conviction if he didn't follow this new regulation. This is not a choice that anyone should ever have to make. And so when I connected with Clark, I saw this as an opportunity to take a stand and try to stop this rule from going into effect, and from stopping the government from telling him that he's a felon, even though he's following the rules and he's always done everything he's supposed to do. What the ATF has done here is they've actually said that a bump stock, which is just a piece of plastic that goes on the stock of a firearm, is itself a machine gun.
Bump stocks are sometimes called a range toy. They're not necessarily that effective in a tactical application or in a self-defense application, but most of the time that people go to the range, whether it be an indoor range or an outdoor range, they are there for recreation. We've certainly never held that it's a firearm. It doesn't have a serial number, there's no registration whatsoever on it, and no restrictions on the purchase of them, up until now.
Unfortunately now, with no intervening action from Congress, with no change in the law, the ATF has said that they know better than Congress. And the ATF is trying to rewrite the statute. But that's not their role. Congress is supposed to write the law, and the executive branch, acting through the agencies, are supposed to apply the law. And if the rule goes into effect on March 26th, at the stroke of midnight, if these people don't surrender their devices they lawfully purchased, then they will become felons, and they will look at up to a 10-year prison sentence.
I'm a proud American, and this is not the way things are supposed to be done in the United States. We had a deal with the federal government to obey the laws, and we expect them to. But the very people that we expected to be examples of obeying the law are the first ones we see breaking it, and we will hold them accountable.
When someone like Clark Aposhian comes to the New Civil Liberties Alliance, we understand that it's about a lot more than just his case. This is about protecting civil liberties against the government. It's our job to tell the government that we'll see you in court.